Straight ahead on CCX News, digging out from all this snow isn't all bad news.
It is money falling from the sky.
We'll show you how some are cashing in. Plus, a noticeable change in the works for Robbinsdale, why city officials say it's needed. And legislation that aims to reduce a paperwork crunch in the classroom. CCX News starts right now. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. This month is closing in as one of the snowiest Februaries in history. In fact, every other day this month had some sort of measurable snowfall. Most of the northwest suburbs had between 4 and 5 inches. According to the National Weather Service reports, Plymouth had the most in our coverage area with 5.5 inches. Snow totals for the month surpassed 20 inches, currently making this the 4th snowiest February of all time. The official record for the month is 26.5 inches, and that was set back in 1962. For some people, the snow is a huge hassle, but for others, it's a chance to profit. Here's reporter Eric Nelson.
For Andy Marcus, snowflakes are like pennies from heaven.
It is money falling from the sky.
Now that the northwest suburbs is a winter wonderland, Marcus can cash in.
This is the Uber of snow removal.
They want it done ASAP. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on that.
Marcus is in his 4th year with Plows and Mows, a company that uses an app to provide snow plowing to people when they want it.
This is 100% on-demand snow removal.
The recent round of snowstorms has kept Marcus hopping.
4 minutes away in driving directions, it's 1.3 miles. So we're going to hit start.
On Tuesday, he began scraping residential driveways and businesses at 6 a.m. and expects to finish up sometime Wednesday morning.
It is feast or famine. The last 2 weeks, it's been extremely busy. Before those 2 weeks, it was non-existent.
The price range for Plows and Mows is $45 and up. And their demographic is anyone.
People that are snowed in. If you've got parents that you usually plow their driveway but you can't get to them. If you travel a lot and you want your driveway done before you get home.
The downside of this is that plowing takes a toll on his jet black Chevy Silverado.
We beat the living heck out of these things.
Marcus will go through 2 tanks of gas, clearing snow from this recent storm.
He's doing a good job, and I'm glad that he's doing a good job because I don't got time for my car to be towed.
And the wear and tear on his truck is unavoidable.
Maintenance is huge, fuel is huge. It's not uncommon to blow transmissions on plow trucks.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
The largest school district in the northwest suburbs had to call off classes for all of its students on Tuesday. Anoka-Hennepin schools said the reason for Tuesday closures was due to numerous unplowed roads and sidewalks. The district also canceled all elementary and middle school after-school activities. Slow down. That's the message from the State Patrol in Golden Valley. So far this month, passing motorists have hit 9 State Patrol squad cars. You can see the damage to their vehicles in the pictures here. Of those 9 crashes, 5 of the incidents involved injuries. State law does require motorists to move over a lane if the situation allows when emergency vehicles are pulled off on the shoulder. The city of Robbinsdale is getting a new water treatment plant. It's also making plans for a new, much larger water tower. The city plans to demolish the existing downtown water tower, and city officials have heard concerns about that from some of those people who do not want to see their iconic tower removed. Robbinsdale is collecting feedback, especially on what would be a visible change in the city.
Tower 1, we call it, in the downtown area is certainly very iconic. The trouble from a functional perspective is it's too small. So I need some more storage up in the sky to help with consistent pressures and delivering the water that we need throughout the city.
It is not a done deal yet that the existing tower will come down. The City Council will have the final say. City officials say the new tower would have a similar logo like the one there is now, and it would be built in roughly the same location. A bipartisan coalition of senators is authoring special education reforms that they hope will put the focus back on students. One of those reforms involves the amount of paperwork that special education teachers are required to do. Two of the lawmakers working on this measure are Senator Paul Anderson from Plymouth and Senator John Hoffman, who represents Champlin and Brooklyn Park. They've been surprised about what they've heard so far.
50% of his time is spent, and he sets the paperwork aside because he has to deal with crisis all the time. 50%. That's what we heard. That's what Senator Anderson and I heard in that committee, and that's why we're committed to saying, let's get it done.
This is an area that we can step up and reduce bureaucracy and paperwork and get the teachers to spend the time with the students like they should.
So how much time do special education teachers spend on paperwork, and why is that necessary? We sat down with special education teachers in the Robbinsdale School District to find out.
Did you notice yesterday that I picked this book just for you?
Special education teachers like Haley Curry,
What do we know about this line?
feel like their job is a calling.
It's what I'm meant to do.
Curry says she has a heart for the underdog, and you can see that when students visit her classroom.
I love my kids. They always have some dynamic story that makes them sometimes a little more challenging to work with, but I love working through that to be able to experience the success with them, because that success feels so much sweeter.
Good. How did you know that Y was there?
But what might not be as sweet as time with students is the amount of paperwork required in special education.
It's always a little bit overwhelming, or it takes your breath away a little bit, oh, this is always more than I remember.
I can skate.
Curry stressed that the paperwork is very important. It involves an individual education plan that is legally required for each student. The plan involves teachers, staff, and parents.
The paperwork is critical because it's really the pathway that helps us to support that student along their needs, because our ultimate goal for all of our students is graduation.
Marty Voigt oversees special education for Robbinsdale area schools.
Skate.
She's seen the amount of paperwork increase in her 20-plus years with the district.
Really what's changed is the evaluation process, the amount of information that's required for us to put into an evaluation. And that evaluation can be anywhere from 4 pages to 40 pages.
And that's just one part of the plan. Voigt believes there's a way to simplify what's required.
We need to think about the reduction of paperwork and the amounts of things that we're asking people to do, because I think we can still get the results.
Curry says all too often special education teachers face a tough choice.
Do I do this paperwork that has a legal timeline to it, or do I put in the time to have a really powerful, exciting lesson for my kids, engaging, what's going to get them motivated? But at the end of the day, it does take away from our time with students, and that's really hard. Lawmakers say there's another benefit to changing up paperwork requirements. The proposals could help curtail rising costs that are eating into funding for other school programs, since special education is one of the fastest growing areas of school district budgets. Still ahead, we spotlight a Brooklyn Center school that serves the area's growing Hmong population. Plus, after a strong regular season, the Wayzata Wrestling team gets set for section competition. But first, much more quiet on the weather front. No major snow events expected for the rest of the week. New Millennium Academy in Brooklyn Center was founded in 2005, and it serves the growing Hmong population here in the Northwest Metro. In today's School Spotlight, reporter Sonia Goen shows us how the charter school is merging culture with academics.
About 750 students attend New Millennium Academy.
Boy, so that is a pig.
85% of the scholars are Hmong.
Learning about new stuff and things, and having new friends.
We want our identity to be known, and we are a Hmong culture and language school.
Okay, so...
And there's a good reason the charter school relocated from St. Paul to Brooklyn Center 3 years ago.
There's a very high population of Hmong here in the North Minneapolis, Brooklyn Center, and Brooklyn Park area.
Students get the required math, English, and technology classes.
Since now that we know the English names, let's let's do the Hmong one.
But they're also taught Hmong tradition, art, and history.
For the first half of the quarter, we do literacy.
Chi Zhang is one of 2 Hmong studies teachers at the school. Her class fosters cultural pride and identity.
Nowadays, I feel like students are very uncomfortable about who they are. And not just that, but a lot of students are forgetting who they are.
For 45 minutes each day, students are immersed in the Asian culture, learning conversational vocabulary and more.
I like learning about Hmong because sometimes I struggle with Hmong.
The class is also closing the generation gap between younger and older family members.
I like how I learn more tones, more words, so I can speak more words to my Hmong, to my family.
Ryan?
Teachers and staff at New Millennium say they want to change the world by building strong leaders for the future.
It starts now, and our hope is that the learning and the academic that we teach and the morals that, and morals and ethics that we teach our scholars today will make an impact in our world.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Still ahead, why people are going bananas at Maple Grove's Central Park. But first, it's section tournament time in wrestling. We'll hear from one of the area's top teams, the Wayzata Trojans. John Jacobson is in next.
The postseason is here for local wrestling teams with section team competition this week. As Jay Wilcox reports, Wayzata's looking to build on a solid foundation as they wrestle at sections.
Despite having a young squad, it's been a pretty good regular season for the Wayzata wrestling team. The Trojans enter the Section 5 3A tournament as the number 2 seed with a 14-3 record.
Yeah, we've had a very good regular season, better than what most of us were expecting. We had a lot of younger guys come in and fill in some roles and really step up. Cal Longquist, Adam Cherney, Kyler Wong, Dominic Heim, all middle schoolers, all have 30-plus wins or close to 30 wins. They've won some tournaments, so.
I think it was kind of an exciting year because we came in and we weren't exactly sure what we were going to have. We saw the number of middle schoolers that were going to be starting for us, which on paper, I don't know if that was a great idea.
With section team this week and individuals the following weekend, now's the time to be dialed in on the details.
We had a tournament this Friday, and it was kind of a good way to see what we need to work on. So Coach Drogmiller has a list of a lot of technique that we need to work on, what we need to improve on, what we need to do to win matches that we haven't won previously. So,
no, this is the time period where you have to stay focused. We have 2 full weeks and a half week before the Excel Center. It's a lot of practice time. It's a lot of practice time instead of a lot of matches. So you've got to keep your eye on the prize, so to say.
No doubt top seed St. Michael Albertville is the heavy favorite for the Section 5 tournament, but Wayzata would like the chance to face the Knights.
I mean, it's always awesome to match up with them because then we get to see some great guys, learn from them a little bit, but also see what we can do against them and then hopefully keep building that on.
They have a good future at Wayzata. They're excited about the present, too. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Most of the Section 5 3A team tournament is Friday after one match Thursday. The Park Center Armstrong winner faces top seed St. Michael Albertville in the quarterfinals. Rogers meets Mound, Osseo takes on Buffalo, and Maple Grove meets Wayzata. Those matches are all at 4 o'clock Friday, followed by the semifinals at 5:30 and the championship match at 7:30. That's at St. Michael Albertville Middle School West. Champlin Park's boys basketball team leads Blaine by 2 games in the North Division of the Northwest Suburban Conference and will host the Bengals Wednesday night. On this week's Sports Jam show on CCX, we spotlight Rebels senior Bennett Otto. Here's a clip from that story.
Rebels with the ball. Otto flips it. Oh, and then laid in by Johnson. But he can really shoot the ball well, too. He leads the team in 3-pointers. His overall game is something teammates appreciate.
I think his passes in basketball impress me the most. Also, his 3-point shooting, obviously. I think he has a high percentage of threes, which is good.
While basketball is the sport he'll play in college, Bennett was outstanding as a quarterback for the Champlin Park football team last fall. He threw for over 2,600 yards and 25 touchdowns for the 7-3 Rebels. An off-season injury months before his junior year caused Bennett to miss the entire 2017 football season. While he was excited to get back on the field, he admits to some nerves early on.
I was actually really nervous coming back because I didn't know it was going to be like the first game, because the game could have totally changed for me because I haven't played in a year and a half what it was. So I was really pumped to get back to it, but once the first 2 games came, I was just having a blast.
Otto, quick throw to his right, diving, and it's a touchdown. You can see the rest of that story and more this week on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on CCX1 or online at ccxmedia.org. Live boys basketball tonight, Tuesday at 7 o'clock on CCX as Cooper hosts Chaska. That's all for sports. Shannon, back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Up next, an exciting time for snow lovers in Plymouth, plus an adorable little creature that could melt your heart in Maple Grove. We'll have that story in a minute. Snow, some people out there might be tired of all this snow, but others are celebrating it. For those in the snow business, there's plenty of smiles. Reporter Meredith Hackler joins us at French Regional Park in Plymouth with more. Hi, Meredith.
Hey Shannon, now I want to start off by having you take a look at my feet right here and this sign over here. You can probably tell there's quite a bit of snow, and there's actually even more because this snow's pretty packed down from people going down the sliding hill. Now I'm no newbie to the snow, I'm from Illinois, but this is probably the most amount of snow I think I've ever seen in my life. And while a lot of people are tired of it, staff here at the park say this is the perfect conditions that they need to be fully functional.
Oh, right now they're excellent. The ski trails are probably the best they've been in the last couple years. We just opened up our new challenge ski run, which is one of the more difficult trails, and we finally had enough snow to open it.
Along with opening that new ski run, staff recently groomed and tracked all the cross-country ski areas so they're ready to go for people wanting to get outdoors. Now, staff members say this past week is the first time they've been fully functional all winter, and people are taking notice. This past weekend was the busiest the park has been, and if you're looking for a way to get out in the snow, there are plenty of activities to take advantage of.
Snowshoe rentals, and we also rent sleds. We rent skis, we rent the classic skis as well as skate skiing. Skate skiing is very popular in this park.
Now, there are about 7.5 miles of trails for you to explore out here in Plymouth, so you're definitely not going to get bored, and you're going to get your exercise. Also, this big hill behind me here, it's going to be open until 10 o'clock every night, so parents, if you're looking for a way to burn some energy out of your kiddos, or if you're tired of them being at the house, this is definitely a great place to bring them. Live in Plymouth, Meredith Hackler, CCX News.
Looks good. Thanks, Meredith. And finally, what people are going bananas about at Maple Grove's Central Park. Check out what's making people stop, or stupa, as they say. It's an adorable hockey minion at Central Park. Photojournalist Elaine Cleveland happened to notice it. It's a great time to lace up the skates there, as the weather, as it appears, will cooperate for the rest of the week. So if that minion melts your heart, it won't melt anytime soon. Thank you very much for that one. That'll do it for us, and we will see you tomorrow.